Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got game 3 of a best of 3. It is from the Zotac Cup and it is between TSLHyuN, who is the blue Zerg in the lower left, and KingCobra, who is the red Protoss in the top right. Now it doesn't take a genius to work out that this is game 3 of a best of 3, which means it's one game each. Now if you don't want to know what happened in those, or you haven't watched them, pause and go and check them out. They're on my channel. If not, well, game 1 HyuN just did an amazing near max out of roaches and lings and held off Cobra, who was doing a 2 base immortal 7 gate push. And well, game 2 HyuN got cannon rushed. He got cannon rushed hard, and basically it was a very quick game, but it meant the Cobra leveled this up, and I think that's not a bad move in the slightest, because ultimately it meant that he stayed in the competition and goes to a third game, and the pressure is now equal on both of these players, which is a really substantial effect actually, because if the pressure is off, then you tend to play a bit better, or in HyuN's case, he actually got slack a little bit looking out for that cannon rush. So this will be really interesting. Of course, HyuN probably wasn't expecting a cheesy opening like that, but if it works, it works, especially in a tournament. You can't say too much about it. We do have a Forge First build again, so obviously the threat of those cannons is coming up. And so far we see HyuN without a pull, so he is actually going for a 14 pull this time, so slightly safer. He's been burned once by going for that 15 pull, doesn't want to risk it, going slightly safer again still, but obviously Cobra getting the complete scout out. The map is, of course, Cloud Kingdom, and this is a really interesting map. HyuN doesn't have any obstacles in taking his third base quickly, which you'll need to do against the fast expand, but there are a lot of different attack paths in. There's 2 to the third, there's also this entrance to the natural, and the actual distance between them is really quite substantial, so that can be a bit awkward. A pylon coming down here, so the threat of a cannon rush is imminent, but to be honest, I don't think we'll see anything. There goes down the cancel, because the drones were pulled in time. HyuN not going to fall for the same trick twice. Meanwhile, no Nexus as of yet. The pylon block does go down at the natural base, so now HyuN will need to try and take the third base to basically get that economy up and running as he needs to. There are 4 Zerglings on their way, which is a safe amount. He needs to deal with this probe, make sure that there aren't any cannons, although the third base can be a little bit difficult to cannon off. There's not any space behind the mineral line at all, as there is in some maps. Now, there goes down the Nexus. Obviously this Overlord has seen it. That's a good tell that he's not going to have too much to worry about imminently. The 4 Zerglings rather are on the way down. 2 more in production as well, and what I'm really surprised about is that HyuN is actually going for this rather than clearing out that pylon. So he's obviously going to do that with the final 2. The photon cannon is on its way, and there's just no chance that these Zerglings will be able to do anything. And 2 pull back, which I think is the right choice, but here comes down a pylon, and are we going to see cannons? The Overlord hopefully will spot it. It'll be pretty close though, and I don't actually know, can a cannon get down there? And yes, it can. Wow, that is really close. And if the Queen's range is actually greater than that, that would be absolutely fantastic. So this is good news here for HyuN, and that cannon will be forced to cancel. So that is just great spotting, and I did not actually realise the Queen could actually range that. So that is really interesting, and another effect of the increased range on the Queen, because there is no way a 3-range Queen could have reached that. Pylon will get taken down, and that is quite a bit of a investment from Cobra's part, which now won't pay off. 2 gas on the way down. The Nexus is up. The third base is, well, his base is pretty well. It was about 50 seconds ago, so 45 seconds ago would have meant it was about 4 minutes 15 build. What is going on with the zooming there? Who knows? Apologies for that. Anyway, so HyuN, he is pretty much where he wants to be now. He's sending some drones down to the third, and Cobra, he's again getting that cyber core up. He's kind of boosting out those probes, so no kind of +1 timing push or anything like that. Although he hasn't quite got the gas for it yet. The double gas is on its way. If we look at the worker count, 24 to 25, so still very equal. But once this third base kicks in, then we're going to see HyuN pull ahead if that's what he chooses to do. Meanwhile, the Queens are out. They are there. They are injecting. The creep spread is on its way, so there was a missed inject somewhere. It would have been down there. The Queen obviously put it down while it was moving, and now we do have just great Queen spread of all of these bases. 3 Queens. I personally like having a creep only Queen. 1, it helps you with the defense. 2, it means your creep spread is epic, and 3, later on in the game, you get that extra transfuse. Now here comes down the +1, the chrono boosts are going as well, and that will be spotted by the Overlord, which is some really critical scouting information. You need to know if that is getting chrono boosted, because that gives a big tell about what your opponent is doing. Now obviously no chrono boost coming down on the cyber core yet, no additional gateways or a robotics facility as of yet. So that is a big tell. We do have the Roach one on its way. Should see HyuN get that Evo chamber as well sometime really soon. Now here comes down the double extractor. We do have, well, no more gas yet for HyuN, so that's probably going to change soon. We should see some more gas get taken pretty quickly. And now here comes down that robotics facility. So Cobra going for what is a very similar build to game 1, except he did try and do a little stuff with cannons, which obviously will slow down the timings quite substantially actually. So that's interesting, but here is a change. The Twilight Council on its way, so are we going to see a +2 timing push? That is possible. We may also see an Observer blink play. That would be really interesting. You take out the third, use the Observer to gain vision of the main and blink up and down from here, which would be really difficult for HyuN to deal with, but he does have speed on the way. Out comes the Observer, so that's what's making me think the +1 ground armor though coming out here for Cobra, as opposed to the 2 weapons. Now that can be an interesting choice, because if you're facing a lot of Zerglings, obviously the armor upgrade is going to be really substantial. 2 more gateways already in production. We do have the Warp Prism on its way, so this is all pretty good. There comes the blink, so as I thought, it's going to be a blink play, and HyuN needs to deal with this very well. He could do with holding this third base very securely. The creep spread is going to be absolutely essential and going to be so helpful as well, which is why I love getting it early on. The 4th base, or the macro hatch on its way, that's a good choice, because this base quite vulnerable. It's vulnerable, the mineral line, to this high ground here. Now on Cobra's side, we do have those additional 2 gates about to finish up. 2 more being added on. That will take him up to 5 gates. 5 gate blink with 1/1 upgrades will be really quite good. The Warp Prism as well will have that quick resupply, but just look at how many Zerglings are out here for HyuN. This is crazy. What is his worker count at? Only 58, so he's obviously scared of something, but to be honest, this is an awful lot of Zerglings. He is going to go for some kind of timing push. He's got that road speed coming down as well. Now obviously Zergling speed has just finished, but there's no way he can get in there as of yet. The 2 sentries there, and as long as Cobra does pay attention, he can force field down the ramp. And well, we've got a lot of roaches coming out, and I'm thinking this is going to be some kind of timing push, but blink is going to be finished in time. There is an Immortal on its way. The +1 armor is there as well, so this could be really close actually. It depends how Cobra deals with it. Obviously the supply lead is there for HyuN, but Cobra, he does have the Warp Prism, which is loaded up with Zealots, so that won't do too much, but obviously it can harass this mineral line. It depends if it's spotted, but there are no Overlords on the move through path, so it shouldn't actually get spotted till the last second. The Zerglings are moving across the map. A lot of roaches on their way as well. Roach speed done. We do have drop tech coming out here for HyuN as well, which is interesting. That Overseer has scouted pretty much everything that's going on. A second Immortal on its way out, and this is all going to come down to the defense. But HyuN, he's getting a lot more units out. He's got supply block though by losing that Overseer, which is never fun, and isn't even actually building any more Overlords yet, which I think is really strange. The Observer was taken out. Here comes down those Overlords, but of course all of HyuN's army is on the other side of the map, and now these Zealots are coming down, and they're going to do big damage. More Zealots getting warped in here, and of course all of HyuN's army being forced to pull back. The drones just getting evacuated, just trying to reduce the damage taken. The lair has been seen though, and of course all the drop tech now finished. Overlord speed is done, and well, I'm just really interested to see what HyuN's going to do with this. I think it's going to be a roach drop up into the main from the 3rd, which would be really effective. We do have the Templar archives down, so High Templar are there and ready. That'll be really good against the mass Zerglings. Of course, that War Prism does get away with 23 health and 1 of the Zealots, but for the moment, not much damage was done. I mean, 1 worker killed, which is probably the scouting worker. In terms of resources lost, a lot worse for Cobra at the moment by about a 1/3, and well, Cobra, he's gearing up ready to take his 3rd base, which is a good timing to do it. Could have been slightly earlier. The +2 weapons on their way. Blink is done. Charge on its way as well now, but suddenly we've got HyuN with a huge force here at over double the supply of Cobra right now, and this is just scary. He's getting his 4th base up. This War Prism is loaded up again with more Zealots, and this could be really nice play. Obviously HyuN could just choose to go and kill Cobra, but he's going to have to pull stuff back, and now we do have the Queen spotting this, with 2 Queens in there. Is it going to get taken down before everything drops? It doesn't. That is a big loss, and of course HyuN will now be able to clean that up, and I'm just interested in what all this force is going to do. All of the Overlords are there. We do have a lot of cannons coming down, 4 in total, just trying to defend this 3rd base, but everything getting loaded up to Overlords, and well, this is going to be pain time. But Storm is about to finish. If there were some huge storms, that could be really effective against all of these Zerglings, but here we go. The dropping is going down. It's coming down on the army itself, but some big storms going off as everything comes down, which is a nightmare. Those force fields are not going to be effective, though. The storm's trying to hit everything, but just too much damage being done by HyuN here. He's got complete surrounds on everything. The Immortals are falling, and the main base is going down, and there's the GG from Cobra. So HyuN takes that quite convincingly in 2-1 the series. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, thumbs up the video. That'd be a huge help. Follow me on Twitter if you're one of those tweeting people. Subscribe as well. New high-level games up every single day. And leave a cool comment. That'd be sweet. So thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon. Bye for now.